welcome back, everybody. This is the Blue Collar Projects module here within NetSuite to help you manage all of your project financials, including things like revenue recognition or what we might call WIP adjustments, right? So let's jump into that today. If you haven't seen our previous videos, go back and check out our billing, budgeting, change order videos, and even project setup to kind of help you get up to speed. But here we are on the project. We've talked a little bit about this previously. And so really what we've done is we've opened up our blue collar project revenue recognition tool right here into the new tab, just by navigating to the project control center and hitting that revenue recognition. So currently on that Plaza Mall commercial build out project, let's go ahead and filter this by our buddy Luke. We can see where we've only spent 10,000 bucks. Projected cost estimate there is the 1.7 million, meaning we've only really got, 0.5% complete. But to kind of highlight the real-time nature of the platform, I've also teed up a little bit of a journal entry for us that we haven't booked yet. You can see the journal entry number is yet to be generated. We haven't saved this. And really all we've done is we've put a couple of debits in here for some of that stump disposal. I got 105,000 and the 59,000 here for labor and a little bit of equipment. And we're just going to pretend we're pulling that out of cash. So if we look at our project budget record here, again, we've got that stump disposal, roughly 109,000 and the 52,000 here. We don't have anything in actual cost just yet, but we'll see how that updates here in just a moment with our journal entry. So let's go ahead and save that. Perfect. Now let's go back to our project record first. Let's do a quick refresh on the budget tab just to see those real-time actual costs come in. Should go up by that roughly $160,000. So indeed it did. We've got that 105,000 and the 59,000 now in the stump disposal cost code. If we were to drill back into that transaction level detail, it's going to direct us right back to that same journal entry that we just made. So everything is clickable, drillable in NetSuite. Very, very simple and easy to always get back to the transaction level detail of anything that we happen to be booking. But there's that journal entry we just made. Let's go ahead and close it and go back to our revenue recognition screen here. Do a quick refresh on that. And we're going to see our $10,000 amount on the Plaza Mall build out actually increase to the $70,000 it is now. Great. Just as expected, the 174,000 now shows we are roughly 10% complete, which is great, right? So we take our actual cost divided by the budget, tells us we're roughly 10% complete. We can take that 10% and multiply it by the contract to get the revenue that we've earned. We've earned roughly $223,000 in revenue, but we've only booked $42,000 in revenue to date, meaning that we're a little bit underbilled. So we've got to recognize a little bit of revenue there of 181,000. Looks like previously we were a little bit overbilled to a large degree, and so we're going to reverse those things out, right? Because the overbilling balance means that we either owe somebody some time or some money, so that's a liability. And then on the other hand, we have the underbilling balance, which is an asset, meaning that somebody owes us some money for some work that we've done. Maybe we just haven't billed it yet. So you used to have kind of a master's in accountancy to, one, put the WIP report together, not to mention have a week's worth of time to be able to do that. And two, to be able to come into the system and book a high-level journal entry that's probably just a summary version of all of our projects at once. But with NetSuite, you really could have an intern sit down in the chair, check the checkbox, hit the recognize button. And what it's going to do is automatically clear those balances out for us so that we've got the correct amounts in underbillings as well as the correct amount in overbillings. Opening up that journal into a new tab, we can see where we did credit our revenue by that $180,000 as expected. We cleared out the billings in excess of cost or the liability, right? That overbillings amount. And then got the rest there in that underbillings account for right now. So if we come back to our revenue recognition tab, we can see where revenue to date now equals revenue earned and all is right in the world. Let's take this one step further because we can see that underbillings balance is $97,134.52. Let's just run a standard NetSuite balance sheet and let's run it by project here. So right now we've got all the totals in for the company as a whole, but what we're going to do is we're going to break out our totals into columns of our projects. Now, in practicality, I probably would also filter this by project manager to make it much less of an eye chart. But if we look over here, we've got our Plaza Mall build out section over here. And then if we were to look at our billings in excess of cost that we had previously, we now have $0 in that billings in excess of cost. And if we look at our cost in excess of billing, In other words, that under billings amount, 97,134 and 52 cents. So if we were to come back to the revenue recognition tab, 97,134 and 52 cents. Gone are the days of having a project subledger that doesn't match to your general ledger, because in NetSuite, the general ledger is the project subledger. They are one and the same, and we don't have to worry about lack of visibility due to disconjointed reporting engines. So thanks again for joining us on this time when we covered WIP adjustments and revenue recognition processes. Again, go back and look at some of our other videos if you haven't yet, and stay tuned for ones we've got coming up.